What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, or should I say, welcome back to another Vitality glazing video, because we've said these guys are unstoppable for the longest time, for over a year now or two, whatever. I don't even know how long it's been now, but we've been saying these guys have been unstoppable for so long, and they just proved it again. Another foe has come into the arena, and Vitality has just swept them. As you can see here, Vitality sweeps Navi to claim the third trophy in a row at Blast Open Rotterdam. They really just can't be beat. And we see here, first thing I'm going to look at is maybe the most controversial thing about the tournament is Robin Cool Rops getting the tournament MVP. But I'm happy for Rops, man. I'm glad he finally got to get an MVP other than someone else other than Zaiwu. And I'm pretty sure his last one was probably in the 2024 season before the Shanghai major. That's probably the last one. So it's been a little bit. It's been over a year. So really glad to see him get the MVP of the tournament. But again, it is a little controversial. People are saying maybe Flamesy, maybe Zaiwu. Again, we'll go into that later on. But enough yapping. Let's get into the GLAZE sesh. Vitality beat Navi 3-0 for map 1 of the series, going to Inferno. Vitality win 13-7. Map 2 on Anubis 13-10. And map 3 Dust 2 Vitality closed the series out 3-0, 13-10. And I'm gonna be honest, man. There were some rounds, there were some just little minute things. I don't even think Navi really did that bad this series, if I'm gonna be honest. I think that they were in some very good positions, and it really just seems like at this point, if another team is in a really good position, somehow either Rops or Zaiwu, most of the time, one of those two, or both of them, those guys are a clutch duo together. But it just seems like Navi can be in the best position. I'm pretty sure they were in like a 4v3, 4v4 post plan a couple of times, and somehow Zaiwu just hits a 1D out of nowhere, or just somebody gets an insane, just lucky frag to just open up the round, and just somehow be able to just win rounds that don't seem like they're able to be won. But I mean, when you are supposed to be the best team or one of the best teams of all time, you really have to win rounds like that. That's kind of how you win very gritty, very close series or very close maps. Because I mean, when we look at the 13-10, 13-10, that's very close. Navi could have got it to Mirage if they won one or two very close rounds. I mean, that's just how close this series was. Even though it was a 3-0, it was still a very close series where if Navi got a couple of those close rounds and were able to, maybe shut out Zaiwu when he was about to go on a hot spree, which I mean, obviously is very hard to do, right? But if they were just able to do that one or two times, they would have gone to at least a map 4. And I still probably think if that were able to happen, Vitality probably could close out on a Mirage. Navi's a very good Mirage team, probably one of the best Mirage teams in, the upper echelon of teams. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's Vitality. I don't expect them to really lose much on almost any map. So maybe Ancient if there's like a gimmicky Ancient team, but other than that, I don't really think I see them losing a lot, but we're going to get into that later in the video as well. And if we go look at the series stats here, Rops actually is the top of the leaderboard for the series, ending with a 1.56 rating, a 99.4 ADR, a KD of 65-40, and a swing percentage of plus 3.84%. Then Zaiwu right behind him with a 1.22 rating, 76.2 ADR, a KD of 47-32, and a swing percentage of plus 3.07%. And then Flamesy is in the middle of the pack. He had a great tournament as well. I mean, we're going to look at his stats and all the Vitality stats later for the series or for the tournament. But I mean, Flamesy kind of ran a couple of people. But for the grand finals, he ended with a 1.01 rating, 67.9 ADR, a KD of 42-45, and a swing percent of minus 0.34%. But I mean, you don't really put a lot of stock in your entry fragger having a good swing percent. But I mean, it's Flamesy. He can kind of do whatever he wants on whatever day. But I mean, still good stats for him. Especially in a grand finals like this, a very gritty grand finals. So it's awesome. And if we go look at the Inferno, I mean, let's remember the Inferno ended 13-7. Rops ended that map with a 2.07, going 27-13 with 140.5 ADR and a swing percent of plus 5.52%. Then Zywoo 16-12 KD, not too crazy, but a swing percent of plus 6.67% and a rating of 1.42. I mean, and then the trio right here, and then you have Flamesy as well, ended with a 1.36 rating, 67.1 ADR, KD of 13-14, so nothing too crazy, but also a swing percent of plus 6.04%. I mean, that's kind of crazy. If we go to the Anubis, it's Rops up here again, 1.44, 19-12, KD, 75 ADR. And then actually Mezzy coming up here with 17-13 KD, plus 5.73% swing, and an ADR of 95.2 with the same rating, 1.44. I mean, these guys were kind of going crazy. And the Dust 2 is Rops up here again with a 1.33 rating, 88.1 ADR, same as Zywoo. That's, dude, I mean, this team is just, I don't even have to say these stats. You can just look at this. Like, this is just insane, man. There's realistically, there's nothing we can really, there's nothing else we can say, right? There's nothing else we can say. These guys are utter dominance. This probably is the best Counter-Strike team we have, probably of all time. I don't see them losing the major. They're probably not going to be any consecutive series wins records, but I just don't see them losing tournaments that they actually are going to win. And at this point, they're scheduling their season to go to tournaments so they can win. And obviously, everyone's achievement is to win a tournament, right? That's the point of going to tournaments. But like with this team, they're only doing it for legacy at this point. They've won everything. They just have to win this Grand Slam and this major, and then what else do you have to do, right? And that's the thing. If they do end this season flawlessly or flawlessly winning everything that they can win, what are they just gonna do it again next season and just be like, someone try and beat us now? Like these guys are just going for legacy. That's the only thing they can do is just keep going until the wheels fall off, basically, until Apex just breaks his back on stage or something like that, yelling too hard. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is what I don't know what more these guys can do if they full clear this season. Obviously they can just do it again next season, right? But it's just so insane to me the amount that these guys are achieving as a five. I, this is insane. I never. We are so absolutely blessed by the Counter Strike gods. We had Astralis in 2018, and now we have Vitality in 2026. Like that's insane, man. That's insane. There's nothing stopping these guys at all. There's nothing stopping these guys. But now I want to go into a little more of the stats and kind of try and show the argument of how people are talking about the MVP of the tournament, because obviously Rops got it, but there was a little bit of discussions and argument about who actually could have gotten it. So we're just going to go into the stats, and I'm also going to go over the player stats for the whole tournament for Vitality, basically. So obviously, stats for top players in this tournament: Donk, 8 maps, 1.61 rating in 8 maps. I mean, that's just stupid. That's obviously it's 8 maps and it's, a couple less than what Vitality had, but still 1.61, even losing and getting out of the tournament, it's crazy. But next up is going to be Zywoo with a 1.47 rating, Flamesy with a 1.44 rating, and and then Robs with a 1.32 rating across the entire tournament. Obviously, all of these three with 11 maps because, they went the whole distance in one. If we go to the first match of the tournament, it is against 9Z, so you can take this however you want. If you think this map doesn't really count as much because it is a weaker team, I mean, 13-3, 13-5. This is going to be a stomp every day of the week, right? But it really just depends on how you look at the caliber of teams that they're playing, because Zaiwu dropped a 1.91 rating against these guys in the whole series. Then Flamesy with a 1.57, and then Robin with a 1.38. And then we go over to the Mongols game. In the overall series, Flamesy drops a 1.81 with Zaiwu right behind him with a 0.70, and then Rob's actually only dropping a 1.01. So again, it just depends, because we go over here to the Paravision series. Zaiwu's at the top of the leaderboard again. It's a 2-0, 13-9, 16-12. And then Zaiwu drops a 1.41 with 45 to 26 KD. And then Flamesy right behind him with 36 to 30 KD, 1.35 rating. And then Robin behind both of them with 38 to 31 KD and a 1.17 rating. And then if we go to the Aurora match, Flamesy is actually at the top with a 1.83% rating, sorry. And then Rops with a 1.53, and then Zaiwu, the least of the trio, with a 1.43. Unless you're really rating the grand finals incredibly high, I do honestly think, and I'm just going off the stats here, right? I'm gonna be a stat Stanley. I obviously don't have the whole map in my the whole series or the whole tournament in my head, but a lot of people were saying, and I saw this as well, that Flamesy had a really good tournament, which he did. But I think the hard thing about it is Flamesy is just in one of those roles where you can look really good, but your stats really aren't going to show it, because you're going to be able to get multi kills in a couple of rounds, but maybe you guys take a gamble and he dies from util, or maybe he just dies from someone watching a creddy. And it's just like, it's really hard when you're in Flamesy's position to consistently show in the stats, just in the stats, in the eyeball, in the eyeball scan, whatever. I don't know what the terminology is. Flamesy, you can see when Flamesy has a really good tournament if you watch the games and if you watch the mini map. But in stats, it doesn't always seem like Flamesy is the one showing up the most. Like Rop says, if he gets a really good timing, or if he does really good flanks, or if he anchors a site really well, or Zaiwu when he's just doing Zaiwu things. He's just getting multi kills after multi kills. He's holding down sites. He's hitting post plants. I mean, with those two, it can show in the stats. But with Flamesy, it is very hard, again, because he's just in one of those positions where either you can get multi kills for 4 rounds straight, or you just are the first to die 4 rounds straight, or you're just shut out and you can't do anything. And you have to have Rops lurk and have Zaiwu get a crazy 2K. It's really hard to show in the stats wise how Flamesy plays. And again, I think unless you're really heavily scoring the grand finals very high, I don't think Zaiwu was any worse than Rops this tournament. I think they both were level neck and neck, and that's usually how it is. But when you look at this Mongols series in particular, and the Paravision, which I think are two very strong teams that should be weighed pretty heavily, and especially this Aurora one too, which, I mean, again, these two aren't far apart. Flamesy is above these guys fully, but these two aren't far apart. And if you look at the Paravision and the Mongols game, Rops didn't do too good there. Rops did worse than Zaiwu in the stats, at least. And so if you kind of weigh the 9Z series, then you're like, okay, well, then he has to be on top, because a 1.91, even scaled down, is still better than a 1.38 scaled not as down, or just curved, right? You can just curve it a little bit. But still, I think, in my opinion, I do think Zaiwu probably would have gotten it, which I know a lot of people don't want to hear. but I do think he did. Let me know what you think in the comments. And so to sort of cap this little Vitality Glaze session of a video off, I suppose, I want to talk about their legacy and where they at and what they can realistically achieve, right? So right now, I have it in my notes right here. I'll actually bring it over so you guys can see as well. Hope you guys can read this. But Vitality in 2026, so this is only for lands. They are currently on a 16 win streak. 14 of those 16 wins have been flawless series wins. So they 2-0 or 3-0, right? And they have 9 wins in a row right now without dropping a map. And their only loss in 2026 was to Falcons at Blast Bounty, where they lost 1-2. So, I mean, these guys are really just. It's really down to, are these guys going to drop a map, right? And so the real question here is, how are they going to keep this up? How are they going to keep not losing maps? And that's something insane to say, right? But these are the things, these are the topics that we have to think about with this team because they've already done everything. They're close to having another grand slam. It's insane that these are the things that we have to be talking about. Everyone just has to admit that this is the best Counter-Strike team we've ever seen. This is an insanely low budget team starting out. Apex actually said he got bought for like 200K or something like that. I think Zywoo was 400. They got Rops for free from Vitality. From FaZe. They got Mezzy from Fnatic. And obviously Flamesy's been here for quite a while, a couple of years now, right? Going on a little over 3 years now, or maybe around 3 years. But I mean, when you look at this, you're like, oh wow, this has to be like, they had to spend Falcons money. They didn't have to spend Falcons money, and they're the best. Obviously, these are some of the best players in the world, right? And they all want to play for this man in the middle, or with this man in the middle at least, Zywoo. But it's just about how can they really just keep dominating, and if they're going to be able to break these insane records, the Fnatic records, they might be able to tie Astralis with major wins, consecutive major wins, and the NIP record. I don't think anyone's really beating the Fnatic or the NIP records, but if there was a team, it could be this one. But I think Counter Strike's just too good right now for them not to drop a map in, I think, for the next 2 tournaments or something like that until the major. It's just ridiculous, man. But I really do enjoy watching this team. I don't hate this team at all. I love that in sports, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's soccer, but whether it's that, whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's Counter Strike, it doesn't matter. Seeing teams like this that come together once in a blue moon is something that we all need to just be like happy to see and cherish this moment, because once it's gone, it's not going to feel the same, right? It's obviously going to be a little more competitive, hopefully, but I think we need to give these guys their flowers while we still have this team, while they're still dominating, while they're still winning tournaments without dropping a map. They're good because they mesh together, because there's a structure, there's a team. This team is one unit. They go as it. It's just amazing to see. But enough glazing. I'm going to wipe my mouth now. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's delay session. I will be back with another video this week about probably Bucharest. And then I'm going to be working on a little Falcons video because these guys need to do something. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know who you think the tournament MVP should have been, or if you think it's Rops, let me know it's Rops. And thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you next time. See ya.